discuss. But I really want this to be something that is driven by your questions and things that occur to you. So please feel free to frame your questions and ask them at any point in the discussion.
Well, again, I add my welcome to Pradip's. If I can also request you to please put your mobile phones on silent in case you've forgotten to do so. That would be nice. And copies of the book are available outside for those who haven't yet had a chance to look at it. I'm not going to introduce Pradip to this audience. I think most of you know him, know his work. He is an award-winning filmmaker who went on to focus more on the naturalist in himself, and I think that's been to our benefit. Like The Trees of Delhi, his first book on trees is an absolute marvel because it brings together this extraordinarily close attention to trees while at the same time giving us a large landscape shape. This meticulous work to the super illustrations and the text, to the way in which the eye and the ear just being how it should be rendered. And it's an achievement of very, very high order. I think I'm not the only one who's in awe of the amount that's gone to this. But at the same time, it seems effortless. So, Pradip would like this conversation with everyone participating, and I'm going to lead off by asking a couple of questions. Hopefully that will spark more in your mind other questions that you have already. So, Pradip, let me begin by asking you, what in retrospect seemed a very odd thing, that we had a number of guides on this. We also have very good guides on the on India. Yet nothing really good on trees. Still, you came along and drew Trees of Delhi. It was the LCR book, Our Trees Neighbors, which was sort of brave, but just not it. So you tell us a bit about why you think trees have tended to be left out, even though they seem so endlessly there, visible and important in our lives, as your books have helped us appreciate.
I don't know if I understood it. I think one reason might be that most botanists haven't been able to write. In their books, there are floras. The entire country has been mapped with technical flora. But these floras are not reader-friendly documents that you could pick up if you're not a botanist. The arrangement of plants is phylogenetic, it's by evolutionary sequence, the language is always highly technical. So these are not books that are meant for lay readers. And the one book that, in this case it was not meant to be a flora, it was meant to be a popular book. But it doesn't achieve that whatsoever. So I think there just is a lacuna in terms of not having had botanists who would write for, in a friendly way. But I think the tree thing, I think the bird thing owes so much to Dr. Salim Ali in particular, and then to people who followed him, that it has that very, very special status, And for example, the book, Prater's book about Indian mammals and the other ones, they've never quite achieved the status of bird watching as a popular pastime, and something that percolated down into, for naturalists to do. So there is this very clear sense in which an awareness of plants, an awareness of trees, we obviously have a very low threshold in this country. And that's why, perhaps, when I was in fact searching for something to do way back in the early 2000s, and I said, well, why don't I write a little book about Delhi's trees? And I rather foolishly thought that it would take me a year. I'd write a little booklet about, Delhi's trees, and wouldn't it be nice for people to know what trees they were looking at? And that 1 year became 2, and 2 became 4, and 4 became 6. And as the book became more and more detailed and more and more ambitious, it grew in size. So it was an accident, really. But I think the answer really is that there is a huge sense in which, whether it's dragonflies and damselflies and lizards and snakes, we have Rom. I mean, Rom Whitaker and Ashok Captain's work with snakes is pretty much right up there with, Salim Ali's. But in other fields, it doesn't really exist so far. So there are vast open fields. For some of you who are budding naturalists, then take note, there are areas that you can occupy and do wonderful work in.